So I really like this, right? You're coming down the stretch of ECL. You want to expand maybe to a 7-map pool or shift around the way you play your bans. I don't know. I've already said I'm a fan of it, but I'm just really interested, to be quite frank.
Yeah, I am going to be personally actually keeping a score of where these guys play around the map, considering this is a first, you know? Like, this is pretty cool for us. We get to witness how these guys average out, their positions, where they like to play, and, you know, that's going to be something to look towards the future for, maybe, you know, obviously this is completely out of the blue. It's nothing to do with this game, but maybe a player wants to leave or they need to go for an upgrade. Well, this is a new position on a map that they now need to be aware of if they're going to enter it into their map pool. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but, you know, it's pretty cool for you and I, at least. So here comes Pyria, and here comes the mid-rush, to which he now needs to bow out and away from to try and give himself more favorable fights if they're going to slot in one after another. But a death ball through spawn, Pyria is on the run, and he's got very little room to hide out and away, so he drops the flash and in good time, because it's kept him alive, but it's kept him solid on second guessing as to where they want to close.
And that's a big kill. That's the only person in Palace right now, so this flank is almost rendered ineffective. The dualies are on site, you're pincered into CT spawn, and this isn't as much of a open season as you would have initially thought. Still a man in CT, it's Kai low, but he gets the comp from Pyria, so this is a game of staying alive, and there's so many angles to clear. I'm surprised it takes that long to get the kill. In fact, Kai walks away with one, and damage on Tomate. The bomb goes down, but this is a good-looking retake attempt.
It's good enough for now, for sure, but, you know, making time enough for them to be able to slap back towards A main. Do not give Tomate a second chance at life. Molzen on the back, 8 on HP, not known whether he's made his way through Heaven or through Broken. It's Molzen who needs to ensure that he gets that kill with his back turn, because one wrong move and he was a dead man. It's 3 from Tomate once again in the pistol, but this time, Anthran, it's not enough.
I mean, we found his limit. Hey. Few solid post-plant kills, but it's not enough. And I mean, you can't really hold it against him. I mean, he got 3 kills, but I'm thinking back to Dust 2, 3-4 rounds. He does the exact same thing and wins it. Now it's just, it's almost ironic that Fluxo limit him to 3 kills and win it because of that. But
Pyria played a really good repositioning game to start that round out with, by the way. Importantly so, because if he goes down, it's pretty much, honestly, I would say personally round, because they're 2-2 split, and just use your 5 players in numbers there from Solid.
Yeah.
And you have no right losing. They will rebuy, though.
This is what I was talking about. I'm very interested to see the pushing plays that Fluxo have in store. Again, they're a very aggressive team, and that's what they're already showing. Yet again, we saw this on Dust 2, maybe from the T perspective, sure, but maybe, well, too aggressive. That excitement should be contained a little, as they have just lost 3 players. Man, and I thought I was the one who was supposed to stop talking.
Sorry. Molson could still have some high impact from this spot, but he needed to find his first and pop out for the next on players unexpected, but very much so ready for him in that corner once spotted and seen. Pyria left to his own thoughts. Now to recollect the team in the dead talk art. Has to communicate around and about how they want to invest, or rather refrain from doing so if that's the idea.
And they're going for this hunt. Like, there's no way. I don't think Pyria is going to get away with this, because, well, actually, no, for a moment. If you had DRG go through sight, then you have these 2 players coming around from A main, you have a perfect pinch, but I think now it's going to take a little too long to clear out these niche angles of the A site, so Pyria should at least escape with this, but it's more of a curse than anything else, considering Fluxo, they are kind of lured into an investment here. And Solid looked, well, pretty name-like. Now, the only question is the what, the when, and the where, because this is not a round I could imagine Fluxo sitting back and waiting for something to come their way.
Zevi wisely keeping $1,000 in his bank account in order to save the next round and ensure that he gets his sniper rifle. And good use of the rifle to elevate itself as well. A little bit of an off angle that they'll have to clear out and clean. A flashbang to the face will be hard to meet exactly the mark it has to blind him, but nobody actually giving all that much of a reason for him to stick by in a few moments, as the A site has bomb nearby it, a flash tossed over, and You know, the multi-frag potential of the P250 is very, very low from this spot. But if you can find one and then just call it out and just pop out and away, then that'll be nice, but not ready for the player tucked. The second to re-up in the close position the Molly had forced him to. It's not going to work out any better for him. And Zebi, just the same, absolutely bombed, man, over top side. He's left with shrapnel set to his chest. And this Pyria rifle surely now needs to just save.
Again, that's if it's allowed the opportunity. Look at this. Timing is everything to Mate.
Hello?
Right idea, but you're right. Just reminds me of one time I was playing a pug. My buddy said, you get that kill if you click mouse 1. That's exactly what just happened. And
maybe
GBB
a radar
might be the
moment?
one. You ever get that call
hate
before?
those.
You ever get that call where somebody's like,
That
check your radar?
somebody else says it?
Yeah.
No.
Dude.
The hell?
Oh my God. That
Check your radar for
that
what?
used to be like the pug classic.
Or do you mean when when
When you'd be like,
why
well-
didn't you call out?
Yeah.
Or something?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's like, use your mini map.
Like, bro.
Oh wow, I actually want to rip my eyes out, bro. Oh my god, that's the most frustrating of all time. I'm like, where is he? Where is he? And then I'll die, and I'd be like, dude, sakes, call him out. And he's like, dude, just look here. You have a mini map, don't you?
I mean, obviously, I think it's
my
like a
God.
like a lower rank thing, but I think if you've played lower ranks ish at all, whether you've gotten out of them or not, you've heard that, and you know the pain of having somebody say that.
If you
to
know, you know.
Those who know. Oh, wait, they're doing way more than I thought they would here. I mean, 1 kill and damage at the Mate, that could have actually gotten them a couple, but maybe I'm also getting too excited. Who knows? Too busy thinking about checking my mini map.
Oh, checking the mini map,
Guys, they're pushing B.
All right, now I get to see 100% as to where these players default, and I'm going to write it down. I've already got Pyria for middle and Kai for A anchor. These two are already pretty much known to me, but I'm going to assume that it's probably Art in E-Box. I feel like that's a position that he as a caller would take. I'm just going to be a little bit preemptive on that. Nope, Molzin looks like he's heading that way. All right.
Oh my God. Wow. They're going straight at this off as heavy. I mean, I like it. I don't know if they're going to be aware the op is in play. Maybe with the money, they wouldn't assume something like that. But look at the damage. Kill, half HP on the op. Zevi keeps swinging. There's still nades in play. They're still taking these fights. I don't even know if Zevi's going to get on the dodge in time. If you're Fluxo, do you even bother going for this recommitment? You have no kits.
Yeah, actually, I was going to say yes, but they don't have a kit. And now I say no. If they caught a lurker and made it a 4v3 before they had actually gone through, then they could kind of just time themselves through the smoke and numbers again, right? But nah, definitely not. They're just so scattered, even when there was a point where they could have regrouped, but...
I'd imagine there's a hunt here now.
Maybe. I mean, probably, I would say even. It's just a matter of, like... Is it worth it, I guess? I mean, it's definitely worth it, but, I mean, they're already on 4 rounds. I think just keeping yourself on a smooth... No way! Come on, bro! Surely not. That's such a tilter. Oh, come on, not again, please.
Dude.
Okay.
Oh my God!
What are you doing?
Bro! What is happening?
What a crazy game.
No, seems like... never mind. That would have been a sneak diss. I can't say that.
To who?
To Zevi. No ill intent. No ill intent. Let's just say he's looking pretty close to his Dust 2 self. He also started like 0-6 there. For clarification.
Yeah, we got it, dude.
In case you didn't know. To be fair to him, though, he hasn't really had many opportunities here. The one chance he had, he got run down last round, and it looks like they're going to do it again. They have 3 ready to do the exact same thing.
I don't think it's going to be a rundown. I think it'll be a little bit more paced than that, seeing how still they are with bomb pushback and attentive to mid. They keep Kai at the very least on alert, and he'll have to play for himself in that moment on a jiggle back and forth and ante periodically, hoping to catch the right timing for it if they were to flash past. But now as the smoke will fade, he wanted to get somebody getting overzealous, too big for their britches. That won't be the case. And how soon as the E-Box smoke will fade, it's a lot in terms of at least visual knowledge that Fluxo will have.
For a moment, that was
very
actually
good
really
peak
worried.
timing.
Right, I mean, you're right, and he's going back in for seconds above this smoke. Oh, there's a big kill from DRG. He's just won them the round, I think. I mean, again, I don't know if you can attempt this retake. They have one kit, but 4 on 3, really?
I think it's a matter of desperation here, Anthran. I wonder if it's how many times can you afford to go for at least those saves without giving it a brief look in.
Yeah.
We've had this conversation a multitude of times as to when that really settles, right? When you hit that point where you can't really justify saving time and time again. It's going to get to a mental point where somebody's going to have to say to themselves, man, I just got to try and find a pick here to give us even an idea of a retake possibility. And if I die, then I chalk it then.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it just kind of feels like after the first couple of rounds, Fluxo have felt a little hollow, if you kind of catch what I'm putting down here, where I think what did them so good on Dust 2 was how good they were at like timing reaggressions, at working opening picks on the CT side, at knowing when to push, at knowing when to delay. And here it doesn't really feel as coordinated in that regard. Like the last round, I mean, we're about 20, 30 seconds in, and a lot of the ace-sided utility is on Zevi, who's currently holding the angle, right? So if he doesn't hit that shot, then there's no flashes, there's no mollies to really stop them. He just gets traded. Here's a change-up, though. Moles it all the way up through canals. He gets spotted, but they're going to go in with this.
Trying to go in even further beyond that at bottom side canals with a decent angle to hold for Art. Now he can just play around the pillar, the dance that's deadly with the other players of Solid not really being able to help out, but GBB, maybe he won't need the help. He looks to actually battle this one on his lonesome. Looks okay to be able to get that initial incision. The second, not quite there. Period, the double. He didn't have HP for me to actually give him much of credit, but credit where credit is due. And very much so, stepping up to the plate and hitting a homer as the low HP he still has is going to make him a liability for the remainder of the round, so too could be said for Knife-On.
Rounds like this are what make Fluxo who they are. And you see, again, I'd say mass success, even though it's only 3 on 2, and it's still very possible for Solid with the help of a couple players. Point is more so that you could see Solid start to shake a little bit after that comes in. And Tamate, well, he's the one trying to inch their way back into the round. If he can sneak up through long, if he can get in from mid, the only one here is Kai, and that's also, subsequently, the only one with a decent amount of HP, and I think they're going to wait to see if he can't lurk up or not.
25, just below. Knife-On's attempt to plant. Will it be held? No timing for it. His teammate hadn't actually peeked out from camera side yet. All players ending below 22 HP with a lowest of 3. And still being able to pull out on the round, and each and every turn it felt like there was a moment Solid could have just flopped that one over for their own sake, but the money they've built up, it looks so damn good that I feel like now it's even more dangerous for Fluxo in these next couple. It's going to have to be a real consistent look and feel, a motivation spread throughout the units and throughout the ranks, because I wouldn't say it took heroics beyond Furia that round. Like a double kill, sure, like that's all well and good, but I don't know how often they're going to be able to do it with multi-kills included.
But look at this. A very big fine line and note put on the double up setup in this round. They've let a lot onto the shoulders of Art toward B. At least you'd imagine, but you're right. Zevi is kind of stuck between hell and high water and need Period to get that kill in order to bail him out. Destiny usually so solid for these kills, but not this time round. And there comes Art, that second op that you were never going to expect. I mean, why would they possibly rock that on a map that typically doesn't have a ton of rotates on it? Rather, fancy or favored rotations. Definitely caught him by surprise with the pace they took in mid, and considering normally they caught a little slower against the op of Zevi. This one's kind of gone down the gutter. Knife-On, it's
I was going to say,
kill,
yeah, how patient can Knife-On even be there for the second? It looked like he had an idea, but I mean, ideas will only take you so far when the pressure is on. These A-side finishes not exactly looking to be as plentiful and bountiful in results as they once were before, but that's also due in part to the fact that they haven't been going there in the numbers they once were, and in mid they lose out on what was easier lurks previously. DRG in particular, I believe it was, who had gotten them really good real estate to utilize, no longer And maybe a little bit more pressure to put on to B and E-Box before these hits come through to really keep Fluxo second guessing to where conditioned to kind of lean towards A in the late to mid rounds they've been in the last few, right?
Kind of, yeah. They've not only put 2 there, but they've usually cheated an extra man closer to the A side in mid as well. It's affected them on the entire map, honestly. But feels like now they've gone back to their default with only Zevi spotting in mid. And again, he's going to sit in the molly for a little longer than he would expect the op to, but he'll get rewarded for it. There's nobody here, and that relieves the pressure on Fluxo. So confident that it's coming toward Canals or toward B.
Confidence is key. And Key is now left with some decisions of his own to make. They've exchanged hands of utility over a mid side, and once more, as I said, they've been conditioned to lean in that direction with 3 over there. Burnt out is Molzen, E-Box control, only for the moment going to be splintered between the two. And now look at this. They grab that bomb, and they look to maybe come back as the B side split was set up for them. But Zevi, he gets aggressive, he gets a little bit antsy, and rightfully so, well put in motion was that hunt to where they've never done it before. Solid weren't quite prepared, and now they've got to commit to the bit.
GBB is more than happy to go in off of that. That's a big kill to find. Molzen, though, unexpected, could drop the bomb. 1.5, they'll take that. And now the off of Art at backside could have easily shut that down, but a great spam from Tamate has now left it pretty much to Kai. You've got your extra players so far on the other side of the world again. Zevi, the only world he comes close to this is if Kai gives him a very good reason to. And maybe you've just done that. 2 kills in connector. You can probably assume it's on the clear side of things, but a smoke and 2 flashes. I actually don't know how much this is going to help you if you're Fluxo.
But look, it's clear towards CT side. Kai knows at least that much, and it's E-Box that's been made known entity for them as well. It's a matter of the tap, a matter of the fight, and a matter of the swing on a timing from Solid. The nade to blow the smoke, Kai not committal, Zevi fully so, misses on the shot, and that'll be everything dead in the water from that point forth as a 6 is secured and a half tie at least. It's Solid in the lead. Even then, 3 rounds turned to soon to be 4. If they can't make this last of the purchases work with, once again, that double op in place. It looked good from Art before, but this time caught out in no man's land between the smoke spam. You were right. It's Tamate who really makes that one to be, but Art overexposing himself perhaps in some ways just the same. I need to see that in a couple less rounds here.
This is interesting.
It's only happened about twice now, though.
2 in mid right now for Fluxo. I don't think we've actually seen anything that's too similar to this. Look at Art walking into Canals with the op. No flash, nothing, full contact. And it's not like he's just backing away. I mean, he's waiting for them to flash in. He's waiting for them to take a fight. And in tandem, giving them the kill. The opportunity was there, just missed.
He was never going to be able to fall away from that one if there was a second player, in which there was, even if he had found that first. And yeah, that's a risk that you certainly have to take with some ideas in mind as to what will go on if that doesn't work out for you, and no reaction from Fluxo. Instead, it's the 2-2 separated, hoping for a multiplay, but all you're going to get is a save. As I said, their money wasn't really offering them very more chances, so when you throw caution to the wind in a gimmick as this, it's Art who calls it and now needs to lie with his own decisions in his grave. Pretty good gameplay, I think, from Solid all the way through as far as, you know, utilizing what works when it works until it doesn't, but then also knowing the slight adjustments that need to be made to keep Fluxo in their own heads. And this is kind of one of those rounds, right? It's Art who outplays himself, effectively.
Yeah. And it's so unfortunate that Fluxo even had to take a risk just to get one of the 2 ops back in play, but again, I don't think they're going to let them have this. We've said so many times, there's only so many amounts you're going to be allowed to save. Solid now, I mean, pockets aren't overflowing with cash, but they pretty much have everything cleared. They know where the remaining few players are. You'd be lucky to hang onto a weapon, let alone the op Furia holding CT. Everything now confirmed, but just a little too far off the mark and too far away. They should be able to dive in CT spawn and chill with the weapon save, but that's probably not good enough. 3 weapons, you might be able to vouch for a rebuy here, but I'm actually a little shocked they're going for it right now. Especially the round count. I mean, you lose this round here, it's 8-3, you're going into the last round, potentially no guns. If anything, I would have saved here.
see if it'll come to mean anything in the long run. We've seen, a couple of these decisions financially come back to work, a couple come back to really bite. But this is the better of all of them, probably from top to bottom. Almost actually, definitely. Next round's going to be a sore one for sure, as you say, but if they win it, that puts them in quite an easy comeback distance comparatively to what would have been, a 4-8, if not 7-5, compared to a 9-3. Like, that gets desolate. Always still doable on a map like Anubis, though. The momentum never really shifts one way or another without some room to battle back, and there goes a flash to at least try to stall out the solid push that weren't to be. It's Tamate and Puria who wait for the next arriving orders from DRG. It's actually, no, excuse me, DRG who's out there. I apologize.
Here's an issue
He's the
right
one who's
now.
going to call them in.
There is 2 flashes and 1 molly amongst the rankings of Fluxo's defense right now. That's it. And they've just thrown that over to Molson. I'm not entirely sure the idea, whether he wants to drop it on connector, whether he wants to drop it on main, but one of these 2 avenues has to be open for this upcoming site take, and there's really not much you can do to defend against this. I guess it's a well-timed molly, but it only shuts out 1 in GBB, and they're going to wait for it. 3 here in the defense. It's the right amount of numbers. It should be adequate, and they're just waiting to time this flash. Got to use it to utter perfection. A couple of rounds were like that on Dust too, but now losing Art makes things a lot more hectic. Molson will have to do absolutely everything, and so he's shown he can. Puria and he have just pretty much taken the round away from them. Zevi's up, gets the last kill, but it wasn't needed.
And there it is. That's the turnaround and conversion that we were talking about that makes this a entirely different game going into that second half. It's the first time in the entirety of the first in which Solid are kind of scratching their heads as to what they need to do now to make themselves look like a more buff team, to puff up their chests and look to be a predator. Forward to this one. That could be the 5th turned. It's going to need these pistols really to flounder in either refrag or entry point on one path or another, as Nithon on entry with the op, perhaps it looks to be the case, and Dry at that. Too far for the second trade, just a little bit.
Really wanted to take a note of their book. Art still here. He's usually here as well. GBB gets caught lacking, and so is Destiny. Not ready for motion connector. Did it a couple of rounds ago on the off. The M4 seems to be his coup de grace. And now the bomb should at least go down, but this advantage could be way too much to overcome. They need some leniency somewhere, and smoking off CT, well, guess what? You've just limited them to the exact angles they're coming from. Nobody's in CT. They don't know that, and they're going to find out the hard way. He comes in, Zevi. Nothing to speak of for it. Tom is only given the 1, but now things have actually taken a turn for the more interesting side, as DRG only has to go against a total of 19 HP. Is he ready for somebody to be in B main? No! The shot is missed, and Art's coming back in from Khan. Every piece of info available to him right now. It's a molly, it's an HE. I doubt they'll be thrown, but instead it'll be held. Kai given the peak by DRG, and it's Fluxo at least getting 5 on the board.
I feel like I'm in another galaxy. Take my time in your eternity. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Feel like something new. Yeah. And I never thought that I got me wanted. Never thought that
Well, I hope you came prepared and ready for the close to this map, as well as to the second of two in this best-of-one pair series. It's going to be a very big victory coming through from Solid if they can convert to extend their lead from 1 to 2 with the top side of the ECL boards, or if Fluxo can remain competitive and keep themselves neck and neck in that space of play. It's Nighton's double pistols, though, that'll look to stop them from getting into a track like that. A pair of them in both hands of the Opper as well as the Star, now turned Glock. It's ammo that's a necessity.
Ooh, I'm surprised they're still taking these fights. I mean, I guess 2-on-3 is just about as good. Maybe a 3-on-1, you'll take that even more. Bomb's still on the back of Art. It's not like that's a hidden asset. They saw it earlier in the round, but right now he could opt to go toward A, and there's really not a lot to stop him beyond a low HP DRG. So he'll play with the timing a little bit, see if he can catch Solid slipping just a little bit, but right now, I think they've actually set it up pretty well. You've got GBB, smoke in hand. They're going to find out what's going on. Art's going to run him down, and now all hell breaks loose. All info's given back away, and Art can't muster the one. So, credited with 2 kills on the round, but that's just about it. Team Solid, it's another pistol. And honestly, you start to worry for Fluxo with the round starting to edge against them.
All right. A belief system now for Solid, given that pistol victory for sure. They can start to operate off the knowledge that they will be playing in the driver's seat economically for at least a minute or two. I didn't foresee a world where Fluxo were going to be going for a deep purchase to where their pockets deepen beyond the point of pullback. They loan themselves only a deagle. Already damage from the Glocks above all else. It's gonna be a little bit careful here, Solid. I mean, you don't want to lose these guns. You don't want to lose these guns. You don't want to lose your heads, and you don't want to have to reinvest again and again. Another player goes in and think back to your G. Even if they win the round right now, Anthron, it is not looking great, and they're hot on his heels. Goodbye to the in-game leader, and hello to a post plan.
How do you get back into this?
The bomb's on the way in spawn.
Oh my god, they didn't even expect to get this far. I mean, now what? It's a 1-on-2, and a big opportunity goes awry because of that. They were so worried about other angles. They had nothing to their name, and Art, again, an opportunity emerged, but ripped away by the MP9 of Nighton. Your point still stands, though. I mean, that's so much damage for a round that included maybe 1 deagle.
Oh. Alrighty. 5 AKs. First now, 2 MP9s of FAMAS, an AWP and an M4. It's like Hydrogen Bomb versus Coughing Baby, as it wasn't for Nighton's AWP being invested into right now to be at least the difference in that right down the middle. See if he'll have any impact on it, though, or if they'll come to expect it. A jiggle from the shoulder, a flash off the mark as he just barely evaded it. It's Molzen in the dirt, and it's already a double-digit slotted up. If they can actually conglomerate towards this B site, but they haven't. They're splintered. A smoke behind Art, and he's gotten too hasty with it. It's 2 down in the first 15.
You have to call this off at this point, right? I mean, you know the AWP is here. Now you know 2 other players have rotated in. There's still smokes in your face. They're still dropping mollies in Connector and Pyria. He wants this kill back. He'll earn it. Rightfully so, but wait, actually, no, there is no more waiting. He's just gotten 2 kills on this site, and Nighton, while he's coming in from a flank, they have a big opportunity to capitalize on just an SMG right now. Even though it's coming through a smoke, it shouldn't matter all that much. Bomb paths in, 2 shots miss. Nighton, opportunities go away, and now it's the Mate. A flank from Connector. So many rounds that Solid have are all thanks to him. He's aware of the one. However, Kai's angle's gone unnoticed or undetected. Round A main, eventually it's something you'd imagine he'd suspect, but when is the question, and not soon enough is the answer. Kai answers back for the round Solid put on the board, and finally ends the drought.
This is, I mean, a drought, sure, that they will have broken out from, but above all else, it's the money from Solid that they lost in the round that we were so baffled by its happenstance that makes it all the more difficult for them to justify a full enough save. So, by result of that, you'll see they've gone all the way through to the $0 limit for 3 of the 5 and 100 for the rest. They've got barely anything to pay for rent this month. between 5 guys. Someone's going to have to pick up an extra shift on the A site.
It's clever.
Oh! That was almost a little spooky, but they lose a kill on the other end to where now GBB goes. There's one in E-box. You got a kill towards A main. Nobody else has aggressed, and we've got an AK to use now. And Tamate, the man to use it, he's been dishing damage out, man. Like nobody's business. That 9-5 has really been treating him well, but it's a tip in a round that he'll need more than all else.
Yeah, but right now, this is a matter of time, and they're spending a lot trying to go and re-clear out mid. Rightfully so. Nighthon should get info. Timing doesn't really come to their favor. They've seen 2 in mid, but do they want to stick to this B-site take right now? It's all over the place.
Tamate has an incendiary that could play a massive role with this being 30 seconds left, but he's nowhere in sight. Zevi hoping to get lucky over topside the smoke, but it's GBB who's given him nothing. Now they've got to go in and they've got to use it all. They've got flashes enough, but bodies are going to have to be accounted for, and the fire rate of the MP9 could be something dastardly.
Wait. They're still stuck into committing to this site right now. There is a very big world things go wrong because they've still got to deal with the 5-7 and MP9 at the back of the site, and there's just not enough time to break apart these crossfires right now.
Nope.
Oh my god, they're just not going to get here. It's too far gone. Art, he gets one pick at A. He sprints to the B site, but by the time he arrives, his entire team is dead on the ground.
Dude, that MP9 looks like it's got heat-seeking bullets. I mean, it's an absolute laser at all those duels that he takes. It looks in full control. Just as Solid looked to be now given that turn up with no bomb to be planted. I mean, again, backs up against the wall. Similar scenario to which Solid had in the last, except Fluxo on the better half of the two, typically speaking. This is not where you'd like to be, especially given that after this, that's 11 up against no money, it'll feel like, from Fluxo, right? But we've seen them make, you know, more out of less. So, is this one of those instances? There goes Destiny as a lamb to the slaughter for GBB to find the one as victor and find himself the star of the round thus far, but an even keel that actually hurts Solid more than it helps, because that's a gun that the pistol of Zevi or Pyria, or Molzen for that matter, could put to good enough use if they can get back for it. 2, actually, because Kai's is on the ground. But they're not going to be going for it in numbers. Only these 2. Still stockpiled, though. I mean, they look pretty well spent. Yeah. Oh, but 3 flashes and 1 nade. Wherever they go, it's going to be relatively dry.
I mean, it might not matter.
Oh, they try walked into A!
They've just walked in. And Solid have let this be a possibility a couple of times now. I mean, sure, the last round was an eco, but this is the second time in a row where Fluxo are being given an out route just because nobody was there to see it. And they still can't necessarily cheat over just yet. Molzen has to take the long way around for reapproach, so things can still go wrong. But this is one of those rounds that feels too big to fail. They're going to, like, have to...
Did he spot him?
Oh, my God, no way. No way. Oh, my God, you're right. And Art, again, dude, Art has just been getting so unlucky this game. He had the round-winning angle, but was a half-second too late to it.
Where's the conviction from the rest of the crew given that space taken by Art? The site, it is clear. I don't know what they were waiting for, but what they waited for was their own utter demise as DRG. He's going to have to play the speed aside the smoke, but nice shot to the head of the last to recruit the C4. It'll be Pyria to do it, and not audible, I don't believe, is GBB, but he's running now. Catches him on the backside, not planning for himself, and the gun pull, but not pulling onto the trigger with a split second before GBB had unleashed his. It's an even kill count for both he as well as DRG in that moment where doubles were needed. And I get that op is saved too, but you know, this is where things get interesting. Fluxo, I think they might even go for another buy here, knowing that they'd killed 4, but I don't think that would be actually the wise of decisions. But I mean, seeing how many rounds you're out of this one, I think they don't really have time to be wise. I think they have to throw everything out the window as far as they know in that regard.
And it's sloppy at best, honestly. With the amount of money, or maybe not a ton of money, but with what they have going for them Solid, there is no lack of head armor around the board, so these Galils get even less powerful. And when you look elsewhere, it's not like the utility brings a lot of inspiration into the round, so... I mean, ball's in your court, Fluxo, to change our minds, but right now it feels like Solid have got this under lock and key. I think that did an uncomfortable amount of damage to Nithon, that nade.
I think I missed my wife. Sorry, DRG. You know, making a quick escape following that mid aggression, and GBB actually fighting himself off that back ends and the B main space just as well. Down and deep, you'll see Kai and Molzin both put into the earth without Fluxo gaining much of anything outside of mid. So, oh, Nightbon looked like he was a split second away from the click, but Art too quick.
Good trade, though. If anybody's going to get it, it's definitely Tomate. However, he is the only guard of this A site. And they know that. Bomb's running him down. Oh, my God, Zevi. He's staying around. He might just gift it back to them. A 9 HP. No. Oh, my God. No, that shouldn't spread. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. I mean, Destiny's going to walk in, though, so you got to worry about this angle.
Dude, what is this round? That could have been 2 different engagements in the matter of 5 seconds, it felt like, to turn it all over. Zevi nearly burning his house to the ground that he lives in while Pyria was asleep, but GBB on a timing too little. It's Zevi to find the third even on very little that he had in terms of needing to commit to a fight. Will do so anyways, trusting in Pyria's potential to clutch in a 7th round. And there it is. I mean, that's the buy that I said that they kind of had to throw at them and hope that it worked and hope that it stuck, because 12-6, that's a comeback climb that's just all too harder to do than anything else. But this, much more manageable.
Could you imagine the round, the game
I don't want
potentially falls because you accidentally molly yourself?
I don't want to. I don't want to imagine it. I refuse.
Like, that's just insane. Insane.
Insaney. Reference. That might be our reference.
I like the other one better.
Yeah.
I guess you could say I miss it. No. DRG, he's gotten up here, but what now? Eventually, you've got to break the ice and go straight. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. His teammate wasn't only wide enough, Pyria. I mean, it's a 1-for-1. Not the end of the world. But if this kill comes in, then it might be Tomate. Still unaware. There's a third person around the corner, but there is so much info right now. It's essentially spilling out of the brains for Solid.
But even then, keeping a passive hold as best as they can on every other angle, maybe expecting Solid to get a little bit curious. They do. What? How has Nightdawn found that so cleanly? Not even a single bullet of damage. I would have thought like he was held. Oh, he Batman's on R. It's so tuned as the next, but he's ready for each of them. Oh my God. What is happening? Who in their right mind is able to find both of them at the same time?
This game is just all over the place, man. I don't know what to say. It's almost lost all sense of reasoning.
There's no reason to reason with this game as it is.
You can't.
You simply cannot. And this one's just going to be a kind of gimme round to get it over with one. I mean, there's a molly there. They have no smoke for it. You may as well just go through it. I mean, they've got SMGs on the other side. If you die to the molly, that's probably the least of your worries.
I mean, they got their one, right? They got their one.
Zevi got 2 with the Mackie. That's op money for later on after, if they're potentially to lose one round and be forced to map point. It's the little things that add up, the little things that count.
Well, it's no longer little anymore. We're in the big leagues, because in round 21, it is everything on the line. And oh, the irony it would be if Team Solid up, what was it, 11-7? They let Fluxo keep gaining ground, then be pretty much like deja vu. I'm about to find out if that comes to fruition or not. Damage in mid so far, it's nothing more than that. However, it turns to a kill on a different side of the map, and then DRG wants to combine and make things a little more hectic for Fluxo. Utility draining from their belts, but the kill's not really reciprocating just yet. And they've gotten everybody out of harm's way, so Fluxo have just got to pretty much work with this.
Molzin mulling over if he wants to go through these doors, but he'll need somebody by his side, and eventually summoning the AWP of Zevi to zone out each and every area that he's not paying attention fully to. And a distance Nithon barely able to move away from the logical damage that were to come through the penetration of that pillar. Zevi sniper rifle now a threat, but also made known, makes it a little bit easier for the man advantage Solid to play around it. They have to know that he wasn't on his own.
Oh my god, what a bold peek. He's just spotted everything though. Like they know this is coming toward a good flash. No turn from Tomate. That's surprising because now they know where he is. And I don't know if he can do everything himself. Maybe he can. He's done it before. Maybe once more. Now it looks like 12's on the board. Team Solid. It's not even thanks to just Tomate, but pretty much everybody's shining here.
This is everything given over now by Fluxo in that chance to try and snap back out to it with 5 AK-47s and utility afoot, all 5. Everyone's going to have to be present in this round as they pretty much have been for the game as it were, but nobody quite to the extent that Tomate has been. A 2KD, 24-12, an excellent from him thus far. Well, the op spots the shoulder, the jiggle from Pyria. Wanted to see him before that, but he's just a millimeter off from giving the information to take a fight in full confidence. But now a man down. Fluxo, what do you even do here? Another group up towards mid, another slot through trying to catch someone pants down. Last time that they op and couldn't do it. This time they've got at least numbers that are better for it and a split towards A that's less than so.
What's even more impressive about this round is that Nithon keeps holding that angle whilst his teammate is smoked off in counts. So they don't know that nobody's in canals, but he just pretty much rides on the confidence that nobody is. However, that brazen play, the boldness of holding that angle for so long has just rewarded them this. Full awareness that this is, it has to be a mid take. It has to reroute to B. All of this info again in the favor of Team Solid. They've been so good at gathering it the entire map, and now would be the penultimate time to collapse as everybody falls. GBB almost does it all himself. But 2 damage on Zevi sets it up for a big clutch potential. Well, maybe not. I couldn't exactly tell you. It's a crossfire in the wings, and of course, it's Tomate to close. You just talked about him, and pretty much this entire series, he's been a discussion point for Team Solid's 2-0 win in the both best of ones.
I'm so happy to see this team go where it is now. I was a tentative Solid enjoyer before Nithon and Tomate's arrival. I was a tentative Solid doubter when they had actually arrived, but if there's one thing that's just 100% been proven to me, it's that Tomate deserves his place on this team. Tomate deserves his place at the top side of the